Yay! Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Maybe we should we?
Shall we stand or
Should I sit under my?
Oh, yes, that's right.
That's good.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. I think this session is probably going to be conducted in English, and because I'm going to show the only Turkish I know is merhaba, everyone.
Good.
Although I speak very little Turkish, but I flew the most. I flew 14 hours to this conference. So I'm very glad to first time to participate in this Turkish AI conference. And this is actually Epi and Equity AI team on the front row. And thank you, everyone. Yes. This gentleman is the one who brought me to Turkey. I have never come to Turkey before meeting you, but now I've been to Turkey three or four times.
And now you love it. now you love it.
Yes, and glad to be part of Try, an amazing community, a lot of great work, and also even education and a high school AI, as well as I saw one of a robot that I have worked on a few years ago. A little bit of my background, I have been an AI scientist for more than 10 years before starting Appier. I'm current CEO and co-founder of Appier. And the first robot I worked on, very similar to the version you saw outside, is a four-leg robot that tried to learn to balance and also try to walk. That was 20 years ago. And the first time we make a four-leg robot be able to learn to stand and also walk. And also participate in the first time the self-driving car being able to drive for hundreds of miles back in, I think, also 20 years ago. And people start thinking about agents not long ago. But really inspired me is a bit of story and background. And then later, Tufan will show us very amazing visual AI. This is the first multi-agent application I worked on roughly 18 years ago. It's a table made of 4 agents, 4 legs. But these agents, each of them represent a vertical leg of this table. It's trying to cooperate to maintain the table surface balance at all times. And even it got perturbed or it got kicked, it always maintain balance. And people already start thinking about multi-agents a long time ago. Even the Turing first time. Multi-agent actually was the word first appeared actually more than 70 years ago by Turing. And then Marvin Minsky, the father of neural networks, roughly 45 years ago, the term of agent and multi-agent was born. Yeah. But it is really until, I think the aha moment of multi-agent is really, by the way, I started working on multi-agent roughly 2010 and 2020. And it is really aha moment by 2023 when GenAI really make agents very possible for people to also tailor and integrate with actions. I still remember one time when I think about it back in 2023, and one of the leading AI conference called New IPS, and I had a chance to talk to my advisor, Andrew In, on the fly. He was very excited. He said, next year will be the year of agents. Next year will be a year of agent, but it really happens. And now everybody, including AWS, the experts in front of us, also talk about multi-agent. And really what we want to share here is how multi-agent is going to change the marketing industry. I will talk a little bit about decision-making side, and Tufan will talk a little bit about creative side. My PhD thesis is actually in multi-agent system. It's about how different agents collaborate together in the most efficient way. Imagine, when you imagine and design a multi-agent system, you can just imagine you are designing an organization. When you have more people, you have more experts. But at the same time, communication costs become bigger. Yeah. And I still remember there's one time when my colleagues saying that we are going to build an agent system, but they divide into too many agents. I tell them that unnecessary division of agents is actually a waste of, is actually a decrease of efficiency. So whenever we design agent system, we always look into whether multiple agents will make it better. And there's a complex task, very complicated task, then it makes sense to have multi-agent solve it. But it's a simple task. Try to combine into one agent is much better. Yeah. And my work back then was when we should use multi-agent system, when we should use agent system, and also how agents efficiency performance increase or decrease with the number of agents that we add to the system. But now it's become a useful one, and we start up here in a living room more than 13 years ago to try to realize multi-agent system in the world, and really try to think how can making AI easy by making every software become software agents. Now we are in a phase that every software not only will be passively receive signal, but at the same time it will also act autonomously. When we are in this juncture, every software will gradually in the next 10 years become software agents. And we started this journey 13 years ago, and also grew Appier into a publicly listed company, and also we listed in Tokyo Stock Exchange 5 years ago, and also select as one of the top software company in Japan publicly listed market. And in what we do is actually fall into application layer of AI. If we see that this is what we call AI layer. The bottom is infrastructure. For someone who is watching the stock market must know NVIDIA, TSMC. These folks are actually fall into infrastructure layer, including AWS. And then on top of that, we have OpenAI, Anthropic, Mistral, and Gemini, these foundation models. And those foundation models, we tune into marketing application, then become a vertical application layer. In my opinion, there are three most important things for application layers company success. First, you need to have data bone, specialized data, not only a wrapper, but specialized data. Like Equity AI is an example with millions of creative data every day, and also has been able to design and adapt a model to that vertical usage, like marketing or creative generation, and also have its own talents that is capable to drive the innovation in the space that actually determine the success of the application layer company. And usually, if the application can improve the top line of a company, that usually even get into more attentions. Here's a group of companies that Appier will work with. And what we learned is that AI is super useful in market space. For example, when you are talking and also communicating with customers at scale, the most important thing here first is to target the right customer. Having the people to think and put a banner here and there to think how we can target the right customer is very complicated. By using AI to predict, it's much scalable and so much easier. And at the same time, when we want to engage customer at scale, communicate with them with various channels, having AI to do it autonomously and also show the communication message on each website app in a much more personalized way is actually much more efficient than human does it manually. And finally, an AI can also be your very good data engineer. I think a lot of data engineering work can be automated by AI without people writing a single line of code. And eventually, this agentic work can really help you to construct interactive advertisement, and later Tufan will show a lot of cases, and automate and personalize, and then analyze data. Let me quickly show you one example here. Assuming that you want to promote a campaign that as one product that to increase pre-order customer for high-value customer. First, you can use AI to really go into your database and fetch all kinds of marketing campaign suggestions. Then secondly, you can construct a journey how you should communicate with customers. Then finally, come up with all of the creative for you to choose. And finally, you can deploy it into your marketing system directly. So it now become an expert that work with you side by side without relying on people intervene. That makes the organization to accumulate the knowledge of marketing much better, because you don't need to worry when your talent go, then your knowledge is actually gone. And also cross-department communication become much easier, because you can have idea that directly you don't need to go to your data team. You can use AI. AI can actually write a query code and also construct a summary and get to you and provide a proposal. And this is actually happening now with Appier's agent suite. And it is powered by a very strong technical team. Some of them are here. We have 70% of PhD and master in the relevant AI and big data field with more than 400 plus publication and 7-time world champion in the top data mining conference and ranked as a top 50 AI company by Fortune magazines and also top AI 100 and so on and so forth. But I also want to mention that given in TRI community, there are also a lot of research community. We also contribute a lot in the research community. Especially, I want to mention, we have constantly published a lot of work in neural IPs and also EMLP, etc. in the large language module domain. I think most important thing to build AI organization is have independent research unit constantly driving the innovation, where this can be put into a product. One work that's particularly important for enterprise AI is reliability. Hallucination is by far the biggest factor we have discovered that make the enterprise feel hesitate to implement AI. But what we have invented recently is a risk-aware AI. When the AI will actually aware the risk and how much risk when they provide certain answer. When they feel it's very highly risky, they further clarify answer or refuse the answer. I think that's very important to build a reliable enterprise application. Finally, we are a group of people with very multinational, including Tufan and myself, and we are actively recruiting in Turkey as well. And this is a gentleman. I'm going to introduce a gentleman who brought me to Turkey. Over to you, Tufan.
Awesome, thank you. By the way, I've never necessarily told you, but one of the moments that I was impressed the most was before acquisition, when we were in your office, when you showed this. I think it was your finishing thesis, right? The one that you just talked about, the agentic one. Yeah. And those are the days that we were like so excited about agents and like what's going to be the future of advertising, the fact that the agents are going to do everything. Yeah. And then when I've seen your thesis that you wrote like years ago, that was like one of the moments that I was like, okay, that's probably going to be the company that we should be part of. Yeah. Anyway, next couple of slides is going to be about me. I'm going to keep it very short. My idea is to really give you guys a visibility about, like, I'll tell you what I think about the future of marketing, advertising, agents, agentic AI, and so on. And before that, I wanted to put 1 or 2 slides so that just to show you that why I came up with those ideas. So my name is Tufan. I'm the co-founder of Creative AI. My 2 beautiful co-founders are also here in the front row. So I finished Sakarya University, mechanical engineering. I absolutely don't do mechanical engineering at all, but that's life, I guess. So just very fast, in 2019, I created a marketing agency, performance-focused marketing agency. And then we realized that creating ads was what we were doing. So we were creating Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever ads for people. And what we realized is that the reason that people are paying for companies like us, like our agencies, was purely the fact that creating ads was super hard. Like even today when you go create a meta ads for a small business owner, it's like super hard. You gotta know what's an ad set, what's an ad, audiences, age range, whatever. And then we said, okay, let's create an application where people can create their own ads. And in 2020, we created Ad Unit. But when we had the Ad Unit, when we were running Ad Unit, we realized something, is that there is a bigger problem on the market. Regardless you are a 1 or 2 person small business owner, or you're as big as whatever those big unicorn companies, what we realized that creative is the biggest issue. Or it's a very big company and the costs are very high, or it's a very small business and they don't know how to create those creatives. Like it could be just an ability, or it could be just the fact that they don't have the time or the resources, or it's just way too expensive. And in 2020, something started to happen especially in advertising, where the platforms start getting really good in targeting. Like Appier is also one of those platforms where targeting can be like very on point. Like if the person is in metro, whatever, and most likely to buy in that moment, they're gonna show that ad. So the audiences were getting like easier and easier. So the biggest thing a business owner or a marketeer could do was basically the visuals. So we said, okay, there's a bigger issue, which is the creatives. And during that time, while we were thinking about, okay, should we pivot, should we create another startup, there is this study that came out that 73% of the businesses aren't confident or happy with their ads. So we were like, okay, so we create an application, but also there's this study, people are not happy with their ads. Why don't we create a company where people can generate visuals? And another problem that we had is that whatever application you can think of when it comes to creatives, they will always start a white canvas. But the problem is, what do you do with the white canvas? You're a business owner, you're in a big marketing team. A visual is a science. Like where you should put your logo or the call to action button or the title description. All these things are actually like, we could probably write pages and pages about studies about what is the best practice. Yet you need to run your business. So we said, okay, the whole business model of creatives and starting with a white canvas is wrong. Why don't we build a platform where people can go ahead and generate visuals that is not starting from a white canvas, where you have so many options that are built with basically market best practices. So that was at Creative AI. Then at Creative AI started growing super fast. We became the third fastest growing startup in 2023. Again, we became the third fastest growing product in 2024 alongside some amazing products like Figma, etc. And then basically what happened is that as a mechanical engineer, I find myself as an AI co-founder where I design products and really try to help SMBs create better marketing campaigns. And then lastly, one of the biggest thing that happened I believe that is for at Creative AI and for the future of advertising is that finally a company like Appier that basically does everything in AI and marketing now also owns this technology where they can generate visuals, and I believe that creates a perfect circle, which I will talk about super fast. So as Chih-Han, our group CEO, was talking about, at Appier, before the acquisition, already does the execution, already does the decision making, which means they basically know when is the best time to target an audience and they serve the ads in that given time. And they already do have quite a bit of data insights, user behaviors. They have their own SDKs, trackings, and so on. And basically, that was, for a company like us, a big kind of moment where we could finally bring all this data and user behaviors and publisher side data as well into a platform where we can actually potentially build that creative agent, which is what I will be talking about. So super quickly, what is an agentic AI? I mean, AWS was just talking about it before us, but basically I wanted to put these three in a way, from my point of view, as a person who's running a creative startup, to tell you what's my point of view between these three things. So GenAI is basically what we all used. You go into whatever platform. So if you're using at Creative AI, you go and say, I don't know, draw me a pink Eiffel Tower. And that's a generative AI. It got the input from you, it went ahead and generated a visual, a pink Eiffel Tower. Then we have AI agents. And AI agents are basically AI models that can take action. So let's say that you have a beautiful photo of, let's say you're selling a yoga mat. You have a beautiful photo of this yoga mat, and you want to advertise with this. If you give it to the AI and say, what should I do so that this sells better? And maybe the AI model is going to tell you, hey, write buy one, get one free, add a call to action button, a beautiful logo, then it's going to perform good. If you go ahead and click on do it, then it becomes an AI agent, because not only it gives you feedback, but it also goes ahead and applies those feedbacks to the visual or whatever is the content that you're looking for. And what we are going to be talking super fast is going to be the agentic AI, which is what I am most excited about, because when you think about it, somehow the hours that we work during the days are the same. Like, let's say that you're working 8 hours a day. Somehow, this 8 hours feels shorter and shorter because we have more and more things to do. It's harder to scale businesses. Your ads has to be more profitable, better ROI, and so on. So basically, I believe that the future of marketing and advertising is going to basically belong to agents, where they're going to go, find what's not working, improve it, go ahead, publish it, test it, come back, and give you a feedback. So what I want to do is, that was the wrong button. So what I want to do is super fast talk about what's a director agent, an agent that at Creative AI and Appier is building right now, is that this agent goes ahead, does the creative planning, then creates the scheduling. So this was like before, it was basically taking like 2-3 months for a huge company. I want to directly show you after, because that's what matters the most. It's this part where now an agent goes ahead, understands the scenes, goes ahead, generates the images, turns them into videos, put them all together within at Creative AI, and you go ahead and get a visual. So there's a visual, there's a video that we generated using at Creative AI, and that's what I want to show.
maybe.
Running an AI company, but having a hard time.
You can go back once and yeah.
So that's it from our side. This was an example of what we can generate already today, and why I personally believe, and at Creative and Appear also believes, the future of marketing and advertising is going to purely belongs to agents, where those agents are going to go, understand what you do, understand what works, what doesn't work, make those changes for you, create the content, test, and potentially start iterating from there and repeat the whole process. So that's from us. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add.
Amazing. It actually takes a month of TVC into just 1 hour of efforts.
Which is yeah.
Which you just saw it. Yeah,
yeah.
Amazing, Tufan. Yeah, great.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.